Heyo, Lord Will aka Mega Blitz, and it's been a little bit since I've actually uploaded a video. By the time this will be uploading, it'll be like 9 or 10 days since I've actually uploaded anything. So I want to apologize for that. Things have been just kind of a little hectic in my life lately. Just kind of have a lot of things going on all at once, and kind of trying to just get things in order. So unfortunately, YouTube kind of got put on the back burner a little bit. However, we are here with probably one of my favorite decks that I've been playing lately in the free time that I've had to play Pokemon. And that deck is going to be Dragapult with Blaziken EX. Let's get into the deck list. Already here at that deck list, starting us off with Dragapult EX. The card that everybody kind of knows is going to be a Terra Pokemon with that Phantom Dive being the attack we're going to be using pretty much as possible. For a fire and a psychic energy, does 200 damage, and then you put 6 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like. So, pretty strong in that regard. And then, of course, we're also playing 3 copies of the Drakloak with that Recon Directive, kind of be our draw engine almost in a way. Once during a turn, look at the top 2, put 1 into your hand, and then 1 on the bottom. And now, of course, we're playing a 4-2-2 line of Torchic, Combusken, and Blaziken Ex. But we're also playing 1 copy of the single prize Blaziken. But first, Blaziken EX has the ability Seething Spirit. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So a lot of Dragapult lists have been playing cards like Luminous Energy. We can't really play Luminous Energy in this deck because it's not a basic energy card. So we can't use our Seething Spirit ability to be able to kind of get the energy out of the discard pile if it's a Luminous. And then its attack Smolder Assault for 200 damage for 2 energy. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. With Goldango becoming really popular with the new Lunatorn and Solrock package, I have been literally farming them on the ladder with this deck. We're also playing that single copy of the single prize Blaziken, 170 HP, first attack for 2 energy, Heat Blast for 70, but the attack we really want to focus on is its second attack, Inferno Kick Flurry, for 120 damage, for 3 energy, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So 120 to the active and 120 to the bench is pretty solid. Nice single prize attacker there to kind of just get a nice 2 prize turn potentially is pretty good. We're also playing 2 copies of the Munkidori for the Adrenal Brain ability, and then we're playing 1 copy of Tatsugiri EX for the Attract Customers. If it's in the active spot, you can look at the top 6 cards of your deck, reveal a supporter card you find there, and then shuffle the rest back in, and then 1 Fezandipiti EX because you literally have to play this card in every deck because it's broken. 4 copies of Arven, 4 copies of Iono, and 2 copies of Boss's Orders for our supporter account. The reason we're playing Iono over Lily's Determination is, since we're playing such a heavy amount of Drakloak in the deck, I have noticed that shuffling them back into the deck and then drawing 8 is good. However, with this deck, I've noticed that putting the cards I don't want to the bottom and then just Recon Directiving 2 times plus drawing 5 or 6 cards off of Iono tend to kind of do me a little better as opposed to Lily's Determination. You could kind of split up the account if you want to. I've just kind of stuck to 4 Iono for the constant disruption and also just, like I said, not redrawing cards that I didn't want at the time. 4 copies of Ultra Ball, 4 copies of Buddy-Buddy Poffin, 3 copies of Rare Candy, 2 Earthen Vessel, 2 Counter Catcher, 2 Night Stretcher, 2 Technical Machine Evolution, 3 Fire Energy, 2 Dark Energy, 2 Psychic Energy, 2 copies of Reversal Energy. Reversal Energy, as long as it's attached to a Pokemon, it provides a colorless energy. However, if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, and this card is attached to an evolution Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box, so that single copy of that single prize Blaziken, it provides every type of energy, but only provides 3 at a time. So it opens us up to be able to kind of just use multiple attacks with that single prize Blaziken. Very helpful into decks like Gardevoir. It really kind of helps out that matchup a lot, not having to force us into Dragapult as much, but also just some of the other like decks that kind of just have liabilities on the bench. Things I'm thinking of is like Noctowls and Fan Rotoms and other Munkidoris and stuff like that. It's very helpful in that regard to kind of just loop the Blaziken over and over again. And then for our ace spec of choice, we're playing that Neo Upper Energy. If it's attached to a stage 2 Pokemon, this card provides every type of energy, but only 2 at a time. With us playing pretty much all stage 2 decks, or all 2 stage 2 Pokemon for our attackers, being Blaziken EX, Blaziken, and Dragapult EX, Neo Upper Energy is the ace spec you should be playing. Let's get into the gameplay. Already here at that gameplay with that Dragapult Blaziken deck. Now, I know everyone's probably going to be like, dude, my friend Malamar was like forever ago. I know I haven't had much time to actually be playing Pokemon on my computer lately. If I do have time to play, it's only maybe a game or two, maybe on my phone. Or if I do on my computer, it's like once, and usually the game doesn't either go as super great or what have you. But nonetheless, here we are with the gameplay footage with that Dragapult Blaziken deck. Starting us off with not too bad of a hand, actually. Going to have Dreepy, Fez, Combusken, Arven, Vessel, Poffin, and a Psychic Energy. So our opponent here, waiting for them to finish setting up, which, like I said, we're kind of hoping for decks like Goldengo's really good matchup. Honestly, I've even noticed that Gardevoir's a pretty good matchup with just the Blaziken build in the deck, as opposed to just like straight Dragapult or Dragapult Dusknoir. But we're going against Charizard, it looks like here. Now, Charizard is a matchup I haven't had too much practice into. However, I do feel like it's very possible. We can kind of set ourselves up to take multiple prize KOs, forcing them to just keep their Charizard at like 180 for Burning Darkness. Now, if they're playing the Dusknoir build, I think this matchup gets actually a lot harder. Being able to just Curse Blast our Combusken or our Munkidori, or maybe even like our Drakloaks is pretty difficult. They're going to Poffin here for a Charmander, a Pidgey, attach Maximum Belt to the Pidgey, to the Charmander, and then Fire Energy to that Charmander as well. So it looks like their hand's not super great. Don't have anything crazy going on at the moment. We're going to start off with a Poffin here. We're going to grab Torchic and Dreepy, it's looking like. Just kind of trying to eye up what I want to grab here. And now I also have Arven as well this turn, so we're going to Arven here. And now we're going to grab Poffin and Technical Machine Evolution. We're going to go Poffin again. And we're going to go Tatsugiri, it looks like, and a Dreepy. But actually, I think I'm going to switch that to just Dreepy and a Torchic again. And then I can attach Psychic Energy, attach to the Machine Evolution here. We're going to be able to pitch the Dark Energy with Earthen Vessel to get 2 more energy out of the deck. And then we're going to Evolution. And now, this is a really important, actually, what I evolve here. The reason I'm going to evolve these Pokemon is because I already have a Combusken in hand. So what I could have actually done is evolved both Dreepys into Drakloaks, getting a better draw engine, which is probably the better play actually to do, as you don't really need to set up Blaziken that fast. This deck's kind of more, it's a little more slow, a little more methodical in kind of what you're doing a lot of the times. But I think this is also a good play. I think if they get into some way to KO our Drakloak, it's not too big of a deal. We also will still have a Combusken in the back. So either one, I guess, feels fine. They're going to go Rare Candy into Pidgeot here for turn. So I'm going to have access to that quick search ability here. Okay, we want to search the deck for any one card and then put it into their hand. So maybe they're trying to piece together a Rare Candy Charizard play, which it looks like that's what is going to happen. So, Rare Candy and a Charizard, either to the active Mander or the benched Charmander. Doesn't really matter, I don't think, because you're going to just power up anyway and retreat probably. That's exactly what happens here, actually. So, Infernal Rain, going to get some energies in play. Going to put, it probably will be 1 to the bench, 2 to the active, if my guess. Which is exactly what they end up doing. And then you can retreat out of that active Charmander into the benched Charizard. Take a knockout on the Dreepy, getting them a nice, quick prize card here. However, they have no cards in hand. They do have Pidgeot, but they have no cards in hand. So I think that's something else important to kind of note, is that they don't have anything at the moment, which I think is pretty important. Going to be able to shove up our Combusken or a Torchic here. I actually am shoving up the Torchic, as I don't really want to lose too much if I can help it. I end up waiting, because if I can go into Rare Candy Blaziken, I'm actually in a really good position here. So we're going to start off with some of our Recon Directives here. We're actually going to grab the Evolution. We're going to go into it, flip the script for a Fezandipiti, and I'm just like, man, we're not piecing together a lot of what I want. Unfortunately, Buddy-Buddy Poffin here, I'm like, okay, let me look at the deck, see what I got. I got Blaziken Ex, I only got 1 in there, so I prized 1 of them. So I'm kind of just like picking through real quick. Prize maybe a boss. And like I said, we're just trying to like figure out what we want to do. And I actually end up not grabbing anything. And the reason I don't grab anything is because there's not really a reason to, actually. So I'm actually going to Ultra Ball here. And I'm going to Ultra Ball, I'm going to pitch the Combusken. And now I'm like, okay, pitch an energy, get myself the Blaziken EX potentially, or the single prize Blaziken. It doesn't matter. At this point in the game, I am going to Technical Machine Evolution a second time probably, as I need to just get more stuff set up. So we're going to Rare Candy into the Blaziken EX, Seething Spirit here, going to go to the active. I also could just Smolder Salt for 200, but I actually thought I evo'd twice. I think the idea was I was going to evo a second time, getting into a second Blaziken EX if it wasn't prized, and then into a Dragapult as well. However, that did end up working out as I prized the other Blaziken EX, and I don't want to evolve the single prize Blaziken's really bad in this matchup if they don't have a lot of like Pidgeys or Charmanders on the bench. At this point they do, but you can't hit the Charizard on the bench, so you have to hit it in the active spot. 200 from the Smolder Salt, and then 120, you're going to leave yourself 10 short, so it's not that great. They also put, evolved the Charmander into the 90 HP Charmeleon here. And now I'm like, okay, let's see what we can piece together. We're going to have a Munkidori. We're going to be able to put that down. And now I'm like, okay, what can I really do, all things considered? First, we're going to Smolder Salt. We're going to put the Dark Energy to the Munkidori. And now I'm like, okay, like, do I Recon Directive? Like, what do I need to piece together this turn to get a knockout on the Charizard? And I'm like not really too sure, so we're gonna go Neo Upper Energy from the Recon Directive, another Recon Directive, gonna get into Arven, which actually is pretty solid here. So I can go Arven, I can grab myself Ultra Ball, and then I can Ultra Ball, discard the Technical Machine Evolution and the Reversal Energy to get myself into a Dragapult. But I discard Neo Upper. I think that was actually a mistake. I didn't think I meant to discard the Neo Upper, but alas, here we are. But we're going to be able to save ourselves. We're going to Adrenal Brain, move 30 damage counters to the Charizard EX, Reversal Energy, attach it, Inferno Kick Flurry. So 120 there and 120 to the benched Charmeleon. It doesn't protect itself from damage, only effects of attacks. So like Dragapult EX and stuff. So a quick 3 prize turn there for us, but our hand's not super great. We just have Counter Catcher, which is a dead card, and unfortunately at this point, even if they take a 2 prize knockout, we're both on 3 prizes, Ultra Ball and Buddy-Buddy Poffin. So thankfully we have both of our Drakloaks set up for that Recon Directive. We also have Fezandipiti if they take a knockout, which is pretty good. So that previous turn, like I said, I could have gotten into the Dragapult and taken a knockout that way. However, it ends up looking like my opponent doesn't have a way to come out of it because we took the knockout on the Charmeleon and we took a knockout on the Charizard, putting us 3 prizes up. We're so far ahead. We got the Blaziken set up. We got the Drakloaks to take a knockout. We got Fez. We had the Munkidori set up. We were just ready to go in that game. But let's jump into that outro. All ready to go for today's video. I'll make sure to put the deck list that I played in today's video in the description below, ready for copy paste into TCG Live. And also let me know what you guys think of this deck. It's kind of been my little like pet deck and kind of just like secret deck that I've been working on for the last like month and a half, almost 2 months now. But like I said, I kind of wanted to share with everybody. I've really been enjoying this deck, and I think it got a lot better now that Goldengo's kind of on the uprise. So like I said, let me know what you guys think. And if you also be doing content I've been making stuff for the channel, definitely make sure to leave a like, smash the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. It costs you nothing, and it means the world to me. We're getting real close to 1K subs. We're at like 965, I think, at the time of me recording this video. So getting real close. Also, let me know what you guys think of maybe what a 1K subscriber special thing would look like. I'm kind of I don't have any ideas at the moment, so I'd appreciate your help. But I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!